Welcome back to Ring Generals. I'm your host, Bruce Snyder, and today's guest is someone who has come a long way, and especially after what happened a few months ago. We'll get all into that. Tony Bizo, pleasure. Thank you for joining us. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Never been better.
You know, I watch you in the ring, and you look like you're having a great time out there. You've been doing a lot of tagging of late with AJZ, who's been a guest on the show before, and of course you've had plenty of single matches. How do you think everything is going for you so far?
Everything's going a lot better than expected. I mean, coming back, from that terrible knee injury back May last year, and I mean, getting better every day, moving away from that surgery date each day, more focused on, accomplishing my current goals, and, never left focus on, getting to where I need to be.
Since you brought it up, that's exactly what I was talking about, and let's go ahead and talk about it right now. It's interesting, when a lot of people watch pro wrestling, they know, I mean, it's no secret that the results are predetermined, and so sometimes people think that means it's fake. Well, there's nothing fake about it, and proof of that is the fact that you messed your knee up pretty bad.
Oh yes, there's definitely, wrestling is by far, there's certain aspects of it being fake, but by far, like the hits,
or instead of fake, let's say predetermined.
Yeah, predetermined right. In a way. It's the injuries and the bumps and everything, and is literally, it's real. It's real as can possibly be.
So what happened? Take us through.
All right. So what happened was a Saturday special, a 100.
So we're talking about Ohio Valley Wrestling, one of the top shows.
Yes, Ohio Valley Wrestling Saturday special, episode 100, and I was going against Drew Hernandez, who was a pretty big guy, actually, well over 300 pounds. Well, I had him up outside the ring over my shoulders. Felt good. Started carrying him. Took a step off. There was a part of the mat. Took a step off. Kind of stumbled a little bit. Tried to catch myself. My quad overpowered my kneecap and ended up. My quad swallowed my kneecap, tore my patella tendon. Just imagine if you were to put your finger underneath where your kneecap is, then move it slightly underneath, there's a tendon right there. Just imagine like a knife just cutting it and just splitting it open, and like a rubber band just shooting up. And it didn't hurt, but I couldn't bend my knee.
You knew instantly that you were in trouble, right?
I was definitely instantly in trouble. I was praying it was just a dislocation or a broken kneecap, because there was an old martial arts saying, it's better to break a bone than tear a tendon.
Right.
It takes time to repair a tendon. But miracles do happen. I did return back in a miraculous amount of time.
When that first happened, what did you think? I know other wrestlers that's happened to, and I know one very famous wrestler in Japan. His name is irrelevant for this conversation, but he broke down and cried because he knew that it was going to be a huge part of his career, that he was either going to be on the sideline for a long time, or maybe his career was going to be over, and the emotion just overcame him. What was it like for you when you realized, oh my God, I really have messed myself up badly?
Honestly, I was on, the high of my life right then and there. I debuted going for the television championship for OVW television title. Was really close of, getting it. I won a battle royal where I got one more chance at the title that Wednesday after the Saturday special. Then unexpected freak accident happened. I actually did bawl my eyes out. I superhuman looking in the ring, but also I will admit I am human.
Oh, everyone in this business.
Oh, for sure. Oh no.
Everyone in this business wants us so much that when you get something thrown at you like that, you can't help but all of a sudden start thinking about every possibility.
Yes, I've played sports before and had minor injuries, but this was my first ever surgery. My injury, it was the unknown for me. And I was, like I said, it was like at my highest moment. Everything was going good. I was great shape, good size, as you can tell back at, you see on the OVW network, previous
shows
and matches. But when that injury, that literally, that's not just 5 steps back, that's quite a bit of steps back. And I mean, just right there was a moment where, I mean, I just stopped, like, what? I was like, what the heck? I mean, I'm here, I can't bend my knee, and God knows, like, I could be out, 6, 7 months, I mean, a year's time, possibly career ending.
Did you let yourself think that? Oh my gosh, my career could be over just like that?
I mean, I did not think my career was going to be over, because part of the sport's injury, and it did help being trained by RIP. I mean, you're going to get hurt. I mean, people had surgeries. So that's very important to know that. I mean, you're going to get hurt in this business. It's just the fact that you're either going to get hurt or knocked down. It's the fact that it's determined on you that how you're going to push yourself to move back forward. And I mean, I wasn't going to let this happen. It's one of those things where, I mean, there's possible inside impossible. So,
but Tony, you not only have to rehab yourself physically, you have to rehab yourself mentally. And I don't know what's tougher in that scenario.
Actually, it was pretty crazy. I was more physically prepared. My body was physically
because you were in great
prepared.
shape.
Yes, I was in great shape and
right.
everything. And when I went to physical therapy, they were doing their protocols, and it's bi-monthly basis and everything, when I can, get back to training and everything, hit the weights, start running and everything. But they were like, I was ahead of the game on the schedule on their sheet, and they're like, let's go ahead and do this. But mentally, in my head, I was thinking, I could very well tear this again. I mean, like,
right.
The doctor, Lonnie Douglas, who's also official surgeon now for OVW,
mm-hmm.
He, the surgeon for University of Louisville Hospital, he kept looking at my leg every time, during the checkup points, and perfectly fine. He's like, no, you're perfectly fine. You can keep doing your thing with physical therapy. I mean, he saw it, and the man that that did the work and everything, if he believed in it, it's one of those things where I had to say to myself, I mean, I was seeing results of pushing myself through therapy and everything, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's really in there, and mentally, it's a mental challenge right there.
2-part question following up on that. Part 1, how long did it take you? How long did you have to rehab?
How long did I have to rehab? So, like, the physical part?
Mm-hmm.
So, as soon as I was done with surgery, doctor already okayed me to, after the 2 weeks, he said, go ahead and go to physical therapy. We're gonna start knocking out early. So it took I got my Kentucky wrestling license suspension unlifted due to medical suspension about end of July, early August.
July of 2019.
Yes.
And the accident
happened on Mother's Day
of 2019.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so that's part 1. Part 2, when did you finally tell yourself, you know what, it's gonna be okay. I think I'm gonna be okay. When did you talk to a football player, and when a football player is coming back, they almost have to be hit that first time, or hit that first time, to know that it's not all gonna crumble back apart. When did you know that, I think I've got this?
Well, it was whenever, probably around August, during training, like with physical therapist, I was able to jump without my brace, and that's one of those challenges. If you know anything about a patella tear, jumping and then the impact of just landing on your knees, it's just, you'll feel that.
Okay, so you jump without a brace, and you successfully complete the jump.
Yes.
What were you thinking?
I was happy. That's one thing I was very, very impressed about, the fact that I jumped with very minimal pain. And that's one thing that's very important. As you can tell when you see me at OVW, I'm jumping in the ring from bottom to top. I mean, before this injury, I could do a 360 dunk. As in, like, completely just do a 360 dunk, do some crazy things. Crazy athleticism, especially for my size. And one thing I did not want to take that away with this knee injury is my athleticism. But knowing that I can jump, and especially at a good amount of, decent amount of hops with both feet and landing perfectly, because that's important. I didn't want to overdo this right one, because once again, another injury could be like another setback.
Right.
And but other than that, I felt ecstatic. I almost kind of teared up. So, I just couldn't explain to me. It was the big monumental thing whenever I started doing like the box jumps. And it's something that like literally I was two months ahead of schedule. So, and I mean, it's just a lot. I mean, I was focused, I was dieting, getting done with physical therapy 3 days a week, doing my home training as well. I mean, I was focused.
It explains a lot when I'm watching you in the ring. I mean, you're moving with almost a joy about you. And I know that a lot of people would say, you never know when it could end. So I'm going to embrace every moment that I'm on here.
Yes, every day it's I'm getting more confident, and as you can tell when you see me more and more in the ring, you'll start seeing the change of my pace, my improvement, more confidence. You'll see a lot of this in here. I mean, more so like the more shape I'll get and everything, but you'll definitely see the more speed and how the brace won't affect me. As you can tell, sooner or later that brace will get smaller.
What? I forget that you're wearing a brace, to be honest with you, because you're not favoring either leg at all.
Oh, no, definitely not. It's one of those things. Plus, I mean, like upper body is like, I mean, like it's presented, but I mean, it's gradually, it's one of those mentally I'm getting much stronger as well as my body's getting stronger, because you can't go into this business not mentally prepared. And you can have the physical aspect there, but if you're not right in there, especially out in a live audience, I mean you got to be prepared.
You have been in the ring, and I've just seen you going all out. You got trained in OVW by, you talked about Rip Oliver.
Rip Rogers.
Rip Rogers. I apologize. Rip Rogers, correct. And I think Randall has also done some training with you.
Yes, he did.
Randall Floyd, we should say. So are things going the way you thought it would go when you were training? Is it a lot different?
Yes. I mean, with regards to, it's crazy because I started watching, everyone starts watching as a kid, and Randall Floyd starting the beginner's class. I started back in 2018.
Uh-huh.
And it was right when Al Snow took over.
Right.
And it was like his first beginner's class, just during the acquisition and everything too. And I mean, we had a decent size class, just like around 6 people, but Randall pretty much gave me the foundation of like everything processing, and pretty much gave me the, like the, what do you call it, the code reader in regards to what Rip is going to say,
right,
and what Rip is going to expect for the most part in his advanced class. Because back then they didn't have an intermediate class, it was just beginners, and then like once you're done with the beginners, you just go to advanced. But I mean, Rip is very knowledgeable. Randall definitely laid the foundation for me to understand, and then Rip made everything made the light bulb click. It's like, this is why. And once again, I have so much more to learn. I'm really green right now. Definitely not, have no pride to admit that in regards to that, because it's one of those things where I am willing to learn and everything. And being the age of 29, I'm at the age where I'm open to learn from all the OGs out there, especially the do's and nots and everything like that. And I got reached out by a lot of people, especially during my injury, which I'm very thankful for. And that's also led me a fast process in recovery. So I'm very blessed.
You said you were an athlete in other sports?
Yes.
What are some of the other sports you played?
Basketball. I played high school basketball. I really didn't want to play at the next level. I really wanted to be just, actually an engineer. I just wanted to go to school for that. But I played for Central Arden High School out in E-Town, won the first ever district championship, and made a region championship appearance for the first time. So I think that my junior year, we also only lost 4 games, which it was also one of those record-breaking. We went on a big win streak. I mean, I've done a lot for that school. Also, middle school won the first ever championship. Helped them out. Middle school as well, for West Hardin Middle School, first ever. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm been a type of person where I'll do my part, exceed in it, but I can make better everything. I like to be the biggest piece of the puzzle, but at the same time, I understand in my success, I'm going to need help, and I'm definitely a team player. in every aspect, as well as, you know, it's an individual business in the wrestling business. But I mean, I keep up with myself, as you can tell.
Looks like you're having fun.
Oh yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm living the dream. It's one of those things where,
All right, well, let me ask you. I don't mean to interrupt
oh,
you.
you're good.
What's it like walking into the ring and you're playing the guy with the white hat, the baby face? What's it like when you walk in the ring and they're cheering for you? What's that feel like?
Oh my gosh, it's
Honestly.
it's goosebumps. It's
Really?
It's one of those things where, like, I mean, I'm so used to the crowd cheering back in varsity sports and everything, the home
Right.
team and everything, but just coming in here and, you know, coming from, you know, Louisville area, you know, growing up here and everything, not just E-Town, because I roamed in Louisville, also went to the University of Louisville. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if you've been in sports before, it brings back so much memory, and it brings back a certain high, and it's something that cannot be explained unless if you've been in that moment. And it's one of those things where you cannot take for granted, and I'm going to cherish every moment, especially at this early level, because a lot of people don't take the early moments. They're all in simulation. But some, like, believe it or not, you'll probably glance at me just like smiling, and just know that I'm taken in that moment. And I'm definitely thankful for the fans, and that's one thing that's, I mean, will continue on building onto my career is the fans. And that moment is definitely right here. And it will continue to be right here, and keeping me stronger every day moving forward.
I can see how genuine you are about that.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so you said that you were at one time going for engineering, which means you must have some good brain power in the medulla oblongata.
No, you can say something.
Okay,
like that.
let's test that, okay? I got some questions for you. Let's see how you're going to do it, okay? This man was a pro wrestling manager. Before that, he was a hit singer with a group known as the Gentrys. He is Jimmy Hart, Gary Hart, or Bret Hart?
Jimmy Hart.
The mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Before he started in wrestling, he was a hit singer, and in fact, he's continued that, and he's written a lot of songs for the WWE. He wrote Hulk Hogan's song, you know, Real American, among other things. Okay. The Olympic Games include both men's and women's wrestling. When was women's amateur wrestling introduced into the Olympic Games? 1980, 2004, or 2016?
Ooh, that's a tough one right there.
Thank you.
I would say 2004.
Ding, 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 ding. You're 2 for 2, my man. Looking good. You've heard of WWE superstar Daniel Bryan? All right. What was his birth name? Daniel Bryan. Was it Daniel Bryan, Donnie Brierson, Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Daniels?
Bryan Danielson.
You are so right. You know your stuff, don't you?
That's because my wife watched Total Divas, I do believe. Yes, that's.
All right. One more. Vince McMahon is the chairman of the WWE, right?
Of course.
His daughter is Stephanie.
Yes.
His daughter is married to a wrestler. Who's she married to? In other words, who's Vince McMahon's son-in-law? Is it Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, or Triple H?
Triple H.
He knows his stuff, ladies and gentlemen. He's not only got it going physically, but mentally as well. Nice job.
Hey, thank you, Bruce.
So what are we going to be seeing in the weeks to come? What do you hope to accomplish?
I mean, I'm right now working real good with AJZ. I mean, we do have a lot of goals. We great individual competitors. I mean, you put two great individual competitors together, great things will happen. And obviously, we look good, but we're going to look even better with some gold around our waist.
There you go. Tony Bizo, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, here on Ring Generals, we appreciate so much you tuning in and watching us. Please follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Give us a like if you're so inclined. It really helps us out a lot. We really appreciate it. And Tony, do you have any social media sites that you'd like to go ahead and plug right now?
Oh, yes. Follow me on Twitter, Tony_Bizo, and Instagram, Mr_Bizo. And that is Instagram, Mr_Bizo, Twitter, Tony, Tony_Bizo. Or you can simply go Google Tony Bizo, and you'll get me.
I'll tell you what, if this man can come back from one of the most serious knee injuries, you know that only bright things are ahead for him in the days, weeks, months, and years to come. Tony, continued success, my man, and thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Bruce.
And thank you for watching us here on Ring Generals.